And from a playing standpoint, we're going to say goodbye to 15 special people tonight. And while we say goodbye from a playing standpoint, you know, they'll be guys for me that I always remember, and hopefully that they will keep up with me, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll be friends for a long time. You know, this class is special to me. This is the first class when I came here as a defensive coordinator. They were freshmen, so I've seen this class the whole way through. Either that or they were guys that transferred in here shortly after I took the head coaching positions, and we've come a long way together on a lot of things. You know, from sitting in my office talking about you know, issues in their world to you know, going out and playing our first Division II competition this year and getting those wins, and finishing the season strong in their leadership of the young guys this year. I'll never be able to thank them enough. Our first senior tonight is a guy from Blue Springs. He came to us after my first year here from Drake University. Played up there for a year, started for them as a redshirt freshman. Decided to transfer here. Unfortunate in his first game here, he broke his leg, and went through a whole season of rehab and all of those things to come back, and he started for us ever since. Very, very good player. One of those guys that is the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Nicest guy ever meet. Very, very mild-mannered demeanor until you play against him. And he's that guy that the officials are usually coming over to me and hey, number 3 now, you may want to say something to him. He's getting pretty aggressive. And obviously my comments back to the official was, this is an aggressive game. But Owen Hodges. Our next senior, Chris Stewart. I will say this, I will get out to practice every day just a little bit earlier now, because it was always Chris and I walking out to practice together, and usually we were the last 2 out there. So, but Chris came here, transferred here right after we took the job here, and Chris is one of those guys that can do a lot of things for you, and he did a lot of things for us. He was on just about every special team, played fullback and tailback for us. We threw the ball to him, we handed the ball to him. He ran in for wing on a couple times on some different things we did on extra point 2 years ago. And I can't say enough about him and the growth, not necessarily as a player, obviously, but as an individual, a man who's got a bright future. Number 5, Chris Stewart. Our next senior, Philip Freeman from Los Angeles, California. He's come as far to be with us as anybody. As most of you know, that's geographically, that's about as far as you can get without being in the ocean and still be in the continental United States. Phil was another young man who came to us shortly after we took the job here, and his growth has been tremendous. Coming here from a junior college in the LA area, you know, the world that he lived in at home maybe not be the best all the time from a safety standpoint, right? I'll never forget, and I'm not going to tell the whole story. You know, he's getting ready to come here, and you know, something happens on his doorstep with somebody, not a very good person, and you know, I can't tell you how happy I am that he's here with us in a very good place, and in the growth that he's made while he's here as well. Again, as an individual and obviously as a player through the season this year, down the stretch in the season, he had as many catches as anybody, and big catches for big first downs, and gave us a chance to win a bunch of games at the end of the year. So, number 6, Phil Freeman. Our next senior, again, guy who joined us a couple years ago from my alma mater, actually. He was at Emporia State for a couple years and came in and was looking for an opportunity, you know, and earned a starting position in spring ball and never gave it up. He's and you know this is coming. He's a guy that plays the game with a lot of emotion, and sometimes that emotion turned into yellow things on the ground, which is okay sometimes. But I'll tell you, and I've said this on our coaches show and some other things. I don't tell Chris enough or Kurt enough about how much I appreciate the way he plays this game from an effort standpoint and a physicalness standpoint on the defensive side of the ball. A guy who gives everything he's got every time he's out there, and we're going to miss you, Kurt Webster. Our next senior, when I got here, and actually for my first couple years coordinating the defense, started for us at free safety. And through the transition, and that's through a year of taking a medical red shirt because of a pretty significant injury, and being very diligent about his rehab and getting himself back in a very good position to play. A couple years ago, we were in a tough spot for a punter. We got a guy hurt, and Daniel says, well, I've punted before, and all of a sudden he comes in there, and his long this year is 77 yards. And people don't understand, unless you really know this game, and a lot of you in this room do, how important field position is in this game. And to have a guy back there that's as athletic as Daniel is, helps on snaps, helps on fakes, helps on a lot of different things. And his kick placement this year and what he did for us from a field position standpoint this year. Number 13, Daniel Megan. This young man came to me, was it over the summer, Blue? Came to me over the summer and said, hey, Coach, can I get number 17? And I said, well, that's a pretty special number to me. That was my college number. So I said, yeah, you can have it because I believe you'll represent it well. And boy, did he ever. He had some big time catches for us this year, and made some. The one in the Sterling game, the first touchdown catch of the year, where he lays out, was Sterling, wasn't it? Where he lays out and drags his knee and his foot in the corner on the side of the end zone on the north side down here, and he had a big one in several other games for touchdowns over the top. You know, defenses didn't give him enough credit at times for his ability. You know, he doesn't look like a fast guy sometimes on film, but he's running by everybody. So we're going to definitely miss the production that Harrison gave us this year, and a great, if you don't know Harrison, a great individual, very intelligent. Has got, I'll let him share his future plans with you, but he's going to make us all very proud. Harrison Blue. Kevin suffered a very unfortunate injury in our first game of this year, where he tore his knee and had to have surgery and career-ending type of injury, unfortunately. You know, a lot of times in that situation, especially early in the year, it's easy to get lost, and because of rehab and other things about, you know, staying in the training room a little bit longer and being late for practice and some of those other things, because you know it's harder for coaches to keep track of you and all that stuff, but not Kevin. His rehab's going extremely well on his knee, and another young man that's you know, in this world is going to do a lot of great things. Kevin Davidson. Our next senior, Ethan Cunningham. Ethan has played this game for several years, and I talked about some of the same characteristics with some of these other guys, but he was the guy when I was just the defensive coordinator that frustrated me to no end. And we talked about that earlier. We gave awards to guys for those same things on the other side of the ball. We were talking about guys frustrating Coach Majors in practice, and he plays the game with such passion and emotion. You know, again, one of those guys that at times the officials will come and have a conversation with you about, and not necessarily about you know, how hard he was playing, but some of the things later in the whistle and all of that stuff. But you know, I'll take that guy any day because he fought every single game. He was a guy that was going to be exactly where you told him to be, and when his opportunity was there, he was going to make big plays. And you know, we're going to miss his production and his steady play over the last several years that he's given us there, Ethan Cunningham. Our next senior. We've given him a lot of awards already tonight, and all very, very deserving. You know, again, a guy that's been here, that I was able to be here with kind of the whole time through, and that people maybe counted out at times, and you know, the way he plays this game, and if you were at our games this year, you saw it, the emotion that he plays the game with, the effort he plays the game with, the physical nature that this game was meant to be played with. He epitomizes all of those things. And again, you know, very, very good people in his life that have gotten this far, and the growth he made in the last couple of years here as a person too. Just a tremendous young man, and very, very productive player for us. And we're going to miss his leadership as well. Number 33, Nelson Wendell.
Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah!
How did I know that was coming? Our next senior, as they all are, a guy who's extremely special to me personally as well. Battled through a very tough year last year. Last year was supposed to be his senior season, and in our very first practice of last season, we're going through warm-ups and some movement things, and he tore his ACL, and was set to graduate and some other things, and you know, life takes a strange twist sometimes, and because of that, you know, he had some decisions to make whether he wanted to use his last year of eligibility and some of those things, and because of his love for this game and of the players around him, he did a great job on his rehab and got back and got healthy, and again, a very productive player for us this year, and very good leader. And Nathan wasn't a guy that always led vocally, but if you watched how he played and the effort he put into it, you could see exactly what he's made of. Nathan Valentine. Our next senior, Derek Faulkner. Derek's a guy that this was the first time he had a lot of frustrating things happen in his career, injury-wise, frustrating to you as a coach, but more frustrating to him as an individual. You know, at one point you start to wonder how much adversity can a guy go through and still keep coming back. And you know, some of the players and some of the people who haven't been here for the last 4 years maybe don't understand Derek's story as well as some of us do. But the effort, the work ethic, the things that he put in to get through some of those years that were very difficult from an injury standpoint. I can't say enough about his character, his work ethic, and the things that he brought to us from a team standpoint. and a guy who personally I'm going to miss a lot. Just down the road in Tennessee, right? Just down the road. And I'd like to congratulate them as well. They got he was very smart and found someone who's very good for him. And I'm still wondering how a good-looking girl's with you, but he got engaged over the season. I mean that in a very nice way. Derek Faulkner. Jared Speckman. Jared's going to probably like me a lot more now because I'm not going to ask how much he weighs every day for the next, for the foreseeable future anyway. Another guy who worked tremendously hard, doesn't say a lot, just goes about his business. His frame maybe wasn't built to carry as much weight as he got up to and played with, and effort, and the leadership that he gave us and the stability that he gave us in the middle of our offense for the last couple of years has been tremendous. Can't say enough about him and the things that he brought to us, and more about him also in his future. Very bright young man, and will be very, very successful in this world. Jerod Speckman. Our next senior from just down the road here in North Kansas City, Shane Gibson. Shane, over the last couple of years, has played just about every interior position on our offense. Started here on the offensive line, played fullbacks, played H-back, played tight end for us, and a guy over the last couple of years has given us a lot of very good snaps at his position. You always knew that Shane was going to do the right thing, go the right direction, block the right guy, catch the ball. It was funny in practice, I'd be all over him, but in games, somehow he's hauling it in every time. So, Shane Gibson. This young man's got an interesting story. About a quarter of the way through the season last year, Jordan came here from Oklahoma City as a basketball player in the beginning, and came into my office about a quarter way through the season last year and said, "Hey, Coach, I've never played football before, but it looks like something that I might be good at." And, you know, you get those things sometimes from people, and but when a 6'2", 230-pound athletic person walks into your office who seems like very intelligent and all the things you're looking for, says that to you, you're willing to give it a chance. The thing that I liked most about him in his first year was he didn't have any bad habits, because he was learning every day, and he soaked it all in and he worked at it. Tremendous leader, tremendous young man. Some unfortunate injuries for him throughout this season, and we weren't able to get him in there in all the situations we would have liked to, but when we did, he was productive. And the leadership that he gave us in some situations, and the type of person he is definitely someone we're going to miss. Jordan Williamson. Our last senior, and most definitely not least, one of the young men who is the first one that I met when I came here as a defensive coordinator. He and his dad was bringing him up here for training camp. Came into my office down by the weight room and was very intrigued by him at that point. Very good frame, skinny at the time. Getting skinny again, which is probably good, huh, Ben? But he didn't say, I don't think I heard him talk for a year or two. Now sometimes I maybe wish he went the other way a little bit. He knows that's not true. A guy who play in and play out, again, talking about guys who don't necessarily lead by vocals, but by example. The things that he did for us from a practice perspective, a game perspective, and the production that he provided over the last several years for us at the defensive end position was tremendous. There was a time in the year where we looked at, and we were having a hard time catching punts. We looked at putting them back there, but Coach Weigel, I'll say Coach Weigel talked me out of it, Ben. You think? A young man who I'm going to miss tremendously, Ben Roberts. A group of men that are going to be very, very highly missed, not just by our team, but by me as an individual and our coaching staff. Let's have another round for 2011.